Hello everyone, I am Manisha Joshi, and joining me here today is Shara Mondy with the organization Suited for Success. Now, you might have heard of her in the news before as being quite the multifaceted woman. She is a mentor, a life and business coach, a mom, and today we're going to learn about the other aspect of her life, being an author. Shara, every time I meet you, I feel like there's another layer to you that's full of talent and full of passion. So tell us about your writing.
Oh, thank you so much. I have actually been journaling for years, and a lot of times you wonder where people get content from when they're writing books, but I journal, and a lot of times I go back and read what I did the year before to see if I made any progress or do I need to go start over. But a lot of my writing has come from my journaling and, of course, real life situations, which we all know about those. So, yeah, I've been gathering information for years and finally decided to become an author and put those thoughts on paper.
Now, when you journal, are they life experiences? Are they quotes from other individuals? Have you kind of taken different aspects of your life and put them all together?
Yes, I have actually done real life stuff in a lot of my journaling, just kind of, especially highs and lows.
Yeah.
Because we all go through those. But I have actually enjoyed, and I used to sit down and watch Oprah's Super Soul Sunday, and I would take notes from the different, speakers that she had on there. And I wasn't really as surprised about how much I learned about myself until I read some of my journals.
That's amazing.
Which is something she does, and she's been doing it since she was much younger, and when she early on in her journalistic career. But I read some of the things that I had written 3, 4, 5 years prior to hearing some of the stuff that they were talking about, and it was mind-blowing because sometimes you write things and you never think you're going to go back to them. But they end up being content for a road or a journey that you're on. And that's what really happened with this new book of mine, Bringing Your A Game. I've been doing that for a lot of years, but I never really thought I was bringing my A game.
That's amazing. I have a copy here today for our viewers to look at, and I was flipping through it earlier, and I mean, just the questions even that you put in the book, were these questions you kind of put together to ask yourself?
Absolutely.
I mean, one of my favorite questions for anyone is, what is your why? Right? Where we wake up every morning, and what is our why for life? You put this together not just from your journals, but really asking yourself these tough questions.
Absolutely. And the authors the co-authors of the book that I interviewed, that is one of the first questions I asked, because a lot of times you're not really sure why you do it, but then you really are. Mm-hmm. And when you look back over your life, and especially myself being a single parent, I knew what my why was because I never wanted my children to actually feel like they only had one parent.
Wow.
And when you do that and you work harder, you go longer, you cry in the middle of the night with your door closed and in a pillow where nobody can hear you, but when you dust yourself off, get up the next day, you know why.
Yeah.
And my children were my why because I have a daughter that's 25 and a son that's 34. So I raised both of them by myself, and they've grown into these amazing young people. My daughter's a licensed esthetician. She's been working with Xerox for 5 years, doing really well. My son works for FedEx full time. He's been helping and mentoring and helping me at my nonprofit Suited for Success. So that's a mother's dream.
That's fantastic.
And when you know your why, it really helps you to accept the no's if you get a no.
Yes.
It really helps you to get up the next day when you really don't want to get up. It really helps you to just really understand your path. And being an author was always a thought, but it was never one for me.
Yeah.
I never really got into sharing my story, even though I knew I had a lot to tell as a single mom, as a business owner, as a nonprofit. And with my nonprofit, oh my gosh, I had so much material there. But one of the reasons I wanted to write this particular book is because I wanted readers to understand. I feel everyone is born with a talent. Mm-hmm. And a lot of times you don't know it's a talent until you nurture it.
Yeah.
And then after nurturing it, figure out a way to make money from it. Because our passions turn into our profits.
Yeah.
And that's one of the things that I was doing with the book is I was interviewing young women who had just started a business or were aspiring to start a business to figure out their why, and then turn your why, your passion part, into a profit part.
That's great.
And then after doing, I was a banker early on in my career for about 15 years, and then I went into cosmetology. I had my own salon, and then I went into the nonprofit arena. So I've been there, and now I'm at the age where I'm looking at retirement and looking at doing things I enjoy.
Yeah.
So writing the book was really something I really was excited about, but I also wanted to create a journey of new authors and help people who had never considered writing a book, write a book and use their story. So asking those questions, I think I had 10 questions that I asked each person, and asking that question became their chapter.
Wow, that's
So
fantastic.
it's amazing how you can use 10 questions to really answer it, and it become who you are and what the story you would want to share.
And sometimes I feel like that's all it takes. And instead of analyzing something too much, sometimes overthinking, sometimes it's those basic key questions that really provokes that person and makes them think. And I love books like this because it takes you outside of yourself.
Yes.
And really makes you look at yourself from a different perspective, a different angle. And I love that you said that you went back in your journal and said, wait, that was me.
Yeah.
Discovering things. It's kind of like those home videos that pile up.
I know, right?
And nobody watches them until somebody decides, no, let's sit down.
Remember this?
Yeah, and it's such a wonderful walk back in time of who we were and who we've become.
And it helps to strengthen you as a person, really, because when I read back over some of the struggles I had, and I was like, wow, I survived that. Wow, I overcame that, or wow, I did that, then I know I've grown. Because sometimes we feel like we're trapped and we don't grow, but yet we do.
Yeah.
And journaling helped me to keep track of that. And then it's amazing now you have Facebook that shows you what you did 10 years.
There's a lot of journaling out there.
What you did 10 years ago. And even some of those pictures that pop up, it just, they make me smile because it's like, ooh, I remember that hairstyle, or ooh, I remember that, or wow, I remember that. Even my Paris trip, that was always on my bucket list. And when I had an opportunity to go to Paris, I was just blown away. And now I see that pop up every time. And it just makes me smile because I was able to do that when I was really at one of the lowest points in my life. I had just gone through a divorce. I had, moved into an apartment, something I hadn't lived in years, and having to start over. And it's like, oh my God, and to see I was still able to accomplish some things that I put on my goals and to-do list and my bucket list, even becoming an author. So that's why I have this passion now for helping other first-time and aspiring authors to become an author. And the first place they start is, oh, I can't write a book, or I don't have content. Yes, you do.
Yeah.
And when I start asking those questions, they go, oh my God.
Everybody has a
I
story.
never thought about that.
Yeah.
Oh my God, you're really making me think and dig up.
Yeah.
That's how you find out exactly who you are and what your path is when you start answering those simple questions sometimes, but yet they're simple, but there's so much volume in your answer.
Yeah, everyone has a story to talk about and share and inspire. And is there a favorite place you love journaling?
In my bedroom, I have a little corner. I have a little bistro set, and then I have a chaise lounger. Oh my God, that has become my best friend. And I didn't start drinking until I was in my 50s. And so now I'm aspiring to get my degree in winology.
Are you really?
I'm learning to drink.
Wow, learning to drink.
I'm learning to
that.
drink, yeah. But I'm just learning to enjoy my me time. And that's something, again, as a parent, you don't think you ever have. And when you get it, you cherish it.
Yeah.
So now I'm learning to get into who Shara is, what Shara likes. And some days I wake up, and if I don't feel like getting up out of the bed and getting dressed or going to do anything, I can just sit there and do just that, do me. And I'm learning that.
And that's still productive. Self-care.
Absolutely, because you have to heal.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I mentioned earlier in one of our conversations about giving from a place of empty.
Yeah.
I can't give to you if I'm empty.
Exactly.
So those days of Shara sitting around doing absolutely nothing is refueling, not just my mind, but my body.
Yeah.
Because your body will tell you when it's time to slow down and sit down. But I just love sometimes just doing absolutely nothing, but that's also a time I do journal.
Yeah,
and that's also a time I do reflect and gather my thoughts, because I have a new project seem like on the horizon every other day. So I like to be able to tackle it and be ready for it. But you do have to do self-care and heal so that you can move. Because fast-paced right now, we live in a microwave society, and it's pretty much.
That's a great way of putting it.
Yeah, because it's like, okay, we got to do this, we got to do that. And then they update and upgrade and change. Anytime I buy a cell phone, 2 days later, they have a new version of it. So.
Yeah, no, that's great. I have to ask you, though, about this adorable poster and the story behind
Yes. One of my passions has always been jewelry.
it. Okay.
I was in the hair industry. I had my own salon and I did hair for 15 years.
See, another layer to you that I'm
Another layer.
discovering, and I'm sure our viewers are like, wait, there's one more piece to
Another
Shara.
layer, and then coaching. I've been doing business coaching for over 20 years. So I took the three things. One of my questions when I was coming up with the book was things that I enjoy. So I took all three of my passion, which was business, beauty, and of course my bling. And actually when I was in the certification program to become a coach, that's what she called me, Coach Bling. So it
Wow.
stuck. And when people see me, as you can see, I love, love, love odd signature pieces, and people knew me from that. So they, even when I went to work, they say, "Oh, let me see what you have on today," or "Let me see your jewelry." So I've always loved jewelry, always loved the beauty industry, hair industry, and I've always loved, business and helping people. So business, beauty, bling coach.
And dressing well just sets the tone for the
It
day.
does,
You know,
it
a lot of
does.
times I tell my clients that if you treated the supermarket like a boardroom,
Oh gosh.
how different would you dress? How
Exactly.
different would you present yourself? Because you never
Exactly.
know who you're going to meet.
And
you
that
never know
is
where your why will
so
develop.
True.
Right?
One of the things that has happened to me in my lifetime, probably 3 times, is an elevator pitch moment. So I try to be ready for that. And not to mention, my organization is called Suited for Success. Why would I dare be caught in a supermarket not put together?
Absolutely.
So when I'm getting dressed to go to the supermarket, my son is like, "Where are you going?" "I'm going to the grocery store." "Like that?" Yes, because, again, you always run into somebody when you least expect. So I try to plan for it. But I've had a couple of elevator pitch moments where I was dressed. I had a plan. When they asked me a question, I had the answer.
That's great.
You don't come across that very much. And
No.
when someone asks you, "What can I do to help you?" you better be prepared to tell them, or you may miss your moment.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
that's something I've learned out of just years of being a business coach. Because when I started coaching, I would ask people, "Well, why did you choose this as a career?" And they go, "Oh, well, I like to, and then I'd say, "Well, what are your plans? Do you have," and they stop like, "Oh, I didn't think about that." So that's part of what my coaching is to pull the why out, number one, and then after we figure out why, what are you going to do? Where are you going to do it? How,
What
who's
steps
your
will you take?
clients?
Yeah.
So it helps, and it taught me to stay prepared. And that's the best way I can honestly say, because if a millionaire or Bill Gates came up to me and said, "Shara, if I gave you $5 million, what would you do with it?" Trust me, I have a plan.
Can we be best friends?
I know,
after
right?
that? So I know I have my own autograph copy,
Yes.
but where can everyone buy this amazing book?
Right now, Bringing Your A Game is available on my website, which is sharamondy.com, www.shara, S-H-A-R-A, Mondy, M-O-N-D-Y.com. And I have all the wonderful things that I'm working on my website, as well as my nonprofit, Suited for Success.
Fantastic.
Thank
you
you.
so much for joining me today. I'm excited to see what next book you might be cooking up.
We're actually doing Bringing Your A Game Manpreneur Edition. Because I'm working with some of my men, some of my celebrity clients, and some of the men that I've worked with who have been coaches to me. They're actually putting together a man's version of the Bringing Your A Game. So it's about 3 additions to it, so I'm excited.
That's great. Something I can pass on to my son.
Absolutely.
Thank you again for joining me. I'm excited to have everyone get their own copy of Shara's book. And again, can't wait to see what's next.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you. Thank you for joining us.